What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Roman's new stable, an Angel Garza injury update, Carmella getting roasted on social media by fans, is Dominik Mysterio wearing a mask, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now our first story looks at Roman Reigns' faction on SmackDown. Now there have been rumors of Roman Reigns starting a heel faction on SmackDown based on his tribal chief persona, and it appears that may be happening, with several sites such as Wrestling News speculating the faction will include Jimmy and Jey Uso. It's believed that the mysterious stipulation Jey agreed to in order to obtain the rematch involves him joining forces with Reigns should he lose. Paul Davis of WrestlingNews.co mentioned, "For what it's worth, there has been talk in creative about Reigns leading a stable with Jey and Jimmy when he's healthy, and others added in the future. We were told that the match at Hell in a Cell would be the next big chapter in the story being told, and there are many other plans that will be involved in the storyline with Reigns." Now the WWE has did a good job building up Jey as a contender, even though it's unlikely he'll defeat Reigns. This is a type of match that is more about forwarding the Roman Reigns tribal chief storyline than it is about the match itself. Jey Uso's recent win over AJ Styles and his strong showing against Reigns at Clash of Champions could be the start of a strong singles push for him, depending on how he fares at Hell in a Cell. Apart from Jey and Jimmy Uso, who else should join Roman's stable? Perhaps Seth Rollins being drafted over from Raw to SmackDown and maybe joining up with his former friend? Maybe Brock Lesnar? Wow, that would be an incredible faction. Next up, an Angel Garza injury update. Angel Garza was injured at the recent Clash of Champions pay-per-view, but there's good news for the fans of the Lethal Lothario. During an appearance on his YouTube channel, Garza revealed he suffered a tear to his quadricep, but he's expected to be back in 1 to 3 weeks. Garza talked about how the injury happened, mentioning, "Montez went for a kick and I grabbed the kick. When I lowered it, I went for the knee, but I put in a little too much force into it. I thought when I was going to do it, Ford was a little too far from where I was and I didn't measure myself properly. When I tried to stretch my leg towards him, the other leg that was supporting it couldn't handle it and was stretched out too much. That's when I heard a small pop like a balloon exploding." When Garza returns, it's likely he'll begin a feud with former tag team partner Andrade, who referred to him as a weak link during the 28th September Raw. Next up, Carmella gets roasted on social media by fans. Carmella's not so surprising return to SmackDown has led to some nasty comments on social media towards the 2017 Money in the Bank winner and SmackDown Women's Champion. She commented on this on Twitter saying, "Been off TV and out of public eye for over 5 months. I come back for one night and the amount of negative comments I see just based on my looks alone is disgusting. I forgot what a toxic place social media can truly be. Thank God I know what a hot bitch I am." Several of Carmella's colleagues defended her on Twitter, including Peyton Royce, who replied, "You're amazing inside and out." Well, certain Carmella's fans feel the same way as Peyton Royce. Next up, more on WWE taking over Cameo and Twitch. Now, the fallout from WWE's demand from WWE superstars to relinquish control of their Twitch and Cameo accounts continues. As noted in our previous video, the WWE is telling its wrestlers they must sign a contract which makes the WWE the intermediary between them and these accounts. Now, Fightful Select claims to have a copy of the email sent to superstars which reportedly reads, "Just a friendly reminder that this Friday, October 2nd is the deadline for severing any unauthorized business relationships with third parties. As mentioned in my September 3rd message, continued violations beyond this deadline will result in fines and may result in suspension of termination. If you need further details, please contact our EVP of Operations, Brad Blum. Thank you, Vince." The Fightful Select story goes on to state, "This week a message came through to many performance center trainees from higher-ups asking them to shut down or make their Cameo pages unbookable. It was mentioned that in the message that the details would be coming soon about a WWE/Cameo partnership that would reopen them. It didn't take long, another message came into the talent that inquired, letting them know that the WWE has finalized an agreement to keep wrestlers on Cameo and instructed the performers how to opt in, noting that the payments will now be required to go through WWE. There has been little or no comments from the WWE superstars regarding a financial situation that basically has the WWE superstars appearing on Cameo and or Twitch to pay for their own downside guarantees. But one guy who managed to share his comments was Ryback, as during Ryback TV, the big guy commented, "A lot of these guys have built up their followings on there and you're gonna count it against their downside? My thing is then their contracts should be restructured, every single one of them to incorporate. Everyone should get a raise from this if they're gonna keep it this way, because now they're taking their revenue on that and they're counting it towards their downside and they're gonna pay them less on other things now and they're gonna increase their bottom line." As mentioned in a previous news video, WWE superstars have a tremendous opportunity to fight for the right to be classified as employees rather than independent contractors. What do you guys think superstars will do? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, New Japan is open to working with AEW. Could New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW be closer to a talent-sharing deal? As all Elite Wrestling fans know, several of the promotion's top stars worked in New Japan Pro Wrestling before leaving to work in AEW, and while several of these stars have returned to Japan for special appearances, New Japan has refused to work with AEW. But things could change now that they have a new president and CEO of New Japan. Tony Khan was asked about whether AEW and New Japan might cooperate with AEW's president, remarking, "I'm not sure yet, but my initial gut feeling is it could be good." A partnership between AEW and New Japan could lead to some spectacular matches in both promotions. Would you guys like to see the two promotions run joint shows? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, The Miz wants another world title run. Miz is a one-time WWE champion, but like all wrestlers and former champions, he'd love to hold a coveted title again. Speaking with the Voices of Victory, the WWE's A-lister discussed his goals and what it was like winning his first WWE Championship. "When I won my first WWE Championship against Randy Orton, I can't tell you how many emotions ran through me. There was excitement at first, like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. Then there was a knot in my throat and all this was happening in a matter of seconds. You have this immense excitement and then you think about everything you've gone through to get there and everyone that's helped you and you almost get teary-eyed. And then you realize you're on national television, so you don't want to be crying and you try and hold it in. I had to over-exude myself to make sure that didn't happen, but there have been very few moments in my life that I've had that feeling. I want to have that feeling again." Now, The Miz is currently suing Otis, the 2020 Money in the Bank winner, to obtain his championship briefcase. If successful, this would give The Miz a great advantage in obtaining his second world championship. Do you guys think The Miz should have another world championship run? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, will Dominik Mysterio ever wear a mask? And last but not least, is Dominik Mysterio going to wrestle under a mask? That's been one of the big questions surrounding Rey Mysterio's son's career, especially after the WWE trademarked the term Prince Mysterio. While that hasn't happened yet, Dominik spoke with Chris Van Vliet about the possibility of it happening. There's still talks about it wearing a mask. We would like to get into the traditions of Lucha Libre, which would be putting on a mask on me and taking on the name, but I think that's all down the line in the future. Given his famous dad's legendary career as a luchador, it only makes sense that fans are curious whether Dominik will continue the tradition. Do you think Dominik should go with the mask? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.